The sound of a tow truck backing into a driveway at 3 a.m. is something you don't forget. Inside, a father peeks through the blinds, watching as the truck lifts the family SUV, the same SUV he's been paying nearly $800 a month for. His kids will wake up in the morning and wonder why mom's car is gone. And the answer isn't complicated. The bank came for it. Scenes like this aren't rare anymore. They're happening thousands of times every day across America. And all of them trace back to one thing: a used car market that went from boom to bust in just a few years. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Back in 2021, the dealership parking lots looked empty. Shiny new cars were nowhere to be found, and the ones that did arrive sold before the transport straps came off. Mike, a contractor from Ohio, remembers the day he bought his F-250. The salesman barely had to try. "If you don't take it today," he warned, "it'll be gone tomorrow." Mike signed for $64,000. He drove home proud, a big truck for a big job. He told himself trucks don't lose value. Across the country, Sarah, a nurse in Phoenix, was shopping for something smaller, a Honda Accord. But the price tag shocked her. The sedan that should have cost $28,000 was selling for $32,000, with a market adjustment fee scrawled across the window sticker in red marker. She hesitated, thinking the market would calm down. Instead, every month, the numbers kept climbing. Cars weren't depreciating anymore. They were appreciating, like stocks. Dealers were bidding at auctions. Rental companies were fighting them for supply, and regular families were left paying whatever it took just to get behind the wheel. It felt like a frenzy, but it wasn't an accident. Factories were building fewer cars, claiming shortages of chips and parts. Lenders were writing loans longer and riskier than ever. Rental companies that had sold their fleets in 2020 were suddenly buying them back at any price. And the message trickled down to buyers like Javier, a teacher in Florida. He'd never bought a brand new car before, but the used Tacoma he wanted cost almost as much as new. The dealer offered him a 7-year loan with zero down. Javier signed, relieved to get something before prices climbed higher. He didn't realize it yet, but he was already upside down. Fast forward to 2 years. Mike checks the trade-in value of his F-250. It's worth $51,000. $13,000 gone, even though he's been paying faithfully every month. Sarah finally goes back to the lot to look at the Accord again. The same car she once saw at $32,000 now sits with a yellow discount tag, $21,000 OBO, and Javier, he still owes $33,000 on his Tacoma, but the market says it's worth only $25,000. Selling would mean writing the bank an $8,000 check. Money he doesn't have. Dealerships feel it too. Rows of cars sit unsold, racking up financing fees every day. Salesmen who once bragged about bidding wars now stand around on their phones, waiting for customers who never show. Then come the tow trucks. Maria, a single mom in Texas, misses 3 payments on her Rogue. One night, she hears chains clattering outside. By the time she reaches the door, her car is already hooked up. Her kids ask where it went, and she doesn't have the words. Weeks later, a letter arrives. The Rogue sold at auction, but she still owes $9,000. No car, no job, just debt. Repo agents describe entire lots filled with seized vehicles. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, even EVs with barely 15,000 miles on the odometer. Some nights, they pick up 4 or 5 cars from a single apartment complex. And then there's the electric wave. Hertz, once praised for ordering 100,000 Teslas, quietly sends 40,000 to auction. Lease returns pile up, Mach S, Bolts, Model Ys. Prices collapse. A Tesla bought new for $50,000 just 2 years ago now struggles to fetch $32,000. For families who stretched to buy into the EV dream, it feels like betrayal. One man in California recalls watching Tesla/new car prices by $10,000 overnight. His resale value fell the same day. "I lost 10 grand sitting in my driveway," he says. On a muggy afternoon in Georgia, Tom, a second-generation dealer, stands in his empty showroom. The smell of new leather used to hit you the second you walked in. Today, the air smells of coffee gone cold and stress. Rows of trucks sit outside, unsold for 90 days. Each one costs him money every single sunrise. He flips through his ledger, $175,000 a month in floor plan interest. His father ran this place for 30 years and never paid numbers like that. A customer finally wanders in. Tom tries his best pitch, even slashes $3,000 off sticker. The man shakes his head. Bank won't approve me. Rates are too high. When the man leaves, Tom sits down hard in the empty finance office. He knows the truth. If things don't change, his dealership won't see Christmas. And he's not alone. From small-town lots to sprawling megastores, thousands of dealers are quietly shutting their doors. Meanwhile, auctions swell with repossessed cars. At a massive yard outside Dallas, rows stretch for acres. Altimas, Silverados, Civics, Teslas, all with stories behind them. An auctioneer's chant fills the air. 25, 26, 27, sold at 27. The crowd barely reacts. They've seen it before. Cars once fought over now sell for half what they fetched 2 years ago. Inside, buyers whisper about the floods still to come. 4 million cars are expected to hit the market soon. Ex-rentals, lease returns, repos, enough to drown prices further. For bargain hunters with cash, it's opportunity. For families still making payments, it's devastation. Javier's Tacoma is still in his driveway, but it feels like a prison. He owes more than it's worth, and every month the payment steals from groceries and school supplies. Sarah finally bought that Accord she'd been eyeing, this time at a steep discount. She drives it with a strange mix of relief and bitterness. If she'd waited longer, she might have paid even less. If she'd bought earlier, she would have been crushed by debt. Mike regrets his F-250. He parks it in the back of his driveway, barely driving it. Every mile feels like burning money, he mutters. And Maria, she's still without a car, borrowing rides to work when she can. The repo set off a domino effect she may never recover from. These aren't isolated cases. They're millions of stories stacked together, a human toll hiding behind numbers on balance sheets. Older Americans shake their heads at the déjà vu. They remember the housing crash, neighbors losing homes, banks tightening credit, families forced to start over. This feels the same, just on 4 wheels. Back then, it was subprime mortgages. Now it's subprime auto loans. Same trap, different packaging, easy money, inflated prices, false promises that this time is different. And just like before, the ones who lit the fuse, banks, automakers, rental giants, already pocketed their profits. The wreckage is left for ordinary people to clean up. So where does this road lead? Experts predict dealerships will keep folding, auctions will keep filling, and lenders will keep tightening. In some towns, families may drive hours just to buy or repair a vehicle. For many, reliable transportation, once assumed, will feel out of reach. But crashes also create openings. Cash buyers will find deals not seen in a decade. People who've waited patiently, resisting the frenzy, will finally see cars within reach again. Still, the shadow of debt will hang heavy. Millions are trapped in loans worth more than their cars, unable to escape. For them, the recovery will be long. The repo man says he can tell a lot about America just by the cars he hooks. Minivans full of kids' toys, pickup trucks with union stickers, EVs plugged in beside half-finished garages. Every car's got a story, he says, tightening the chain. And right now, most of those stories aren't happy ones. The truth is, this crash isn't just about cars. It's about promises that went unkept, risks that went unseen, and families that trusted a system tilted against them. 4 million vehicles are about to flood the market, but behind every VIN number is a person, a family, a life shifted by debt. And when the dust settles, the question won't be how cheap cars got, it'll be how many people were broken along the way. Because when a market crashes, metal can be recycled, but trust? That takes far longer to rebuild. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next.